Hello there, my name is Luke and welcome to my roundup of the final day of the 2016-17 season in the National League, National League North and National League South. It was a massive day at both ends of the table. The league title was confirmed in the National League South, as the other two leagues had that already confirmed. The playoffs were confirmed as well, and there was some relegation dogfights that came to a final conclusion as well. Very exciting match day, so let's get straight into it with the National League.
So we're going to start in the National League and down in the relegation battle. Torquay, Guiseley, York and Braintree, all of those could stay up, but only two of them could stay up. Two of those would definitely be going down today. So there was a big relegation battle that went right down to the wire. Torquay knew that it was in their hands. If they won, they would stay up, and they did just that. They won 2-0 against North Ferriby, so Torquay confirmed their place in the National League for next season. Braintree lost 2-0 away at Aldershot. This result had significance at both ends of the table. It ensured that Aldershot would finish in the playoffs, so congratulations to them. They finished in 5th and will face Tranmere Rovers in the playoffs. Braintree, however, as they were already in the playoffs before the match day started, they will be going down to the National League South. They have been relegated, so commiserations to them. So that left York and Guiseley to fight it out for the one remaining spot in the National League. York knew that they needed to better Guiseley's result to stay up, so they managed to get a 2-2 against Forest Green, a respectable result to any other point in the season against one of the better teams in the league. They knew that the only way that they were going to stay up was if Guiseley lost. Did they lose? They didn't. It was a very late goal from Lowe in the 90th minute for Guiseley, which kept them up. Otherwise, they were going to lose to Solihull, so that has meant that Guiseley stay up. And the giants that are York City, they should not be in the National League North, but that is where they're going to be next season. Back-to-back relegations for York. It's awful for their fans. It's been an awful season for them, an awful 2 years for them. And just to confirm the league table down at the bottom, Guiseley stay up. They are in 20th place with 51 points. York in 21st with 50 points. Braintree in 22nd with 48 points. Southport in 23rd with 39 points. And North Ferriby in 24th with 39 points as well. So as for the rest of the games in the National League, Dover, they needed to win and get a massive goal swing for them to be able to get into the playoffs. They also had to rely on Braintree beating Aldershot, and as Braintree, they lost to Aldershot, there was no way that Dover would be able to get into the playoffs. A Ricky Miller hat-trick rounded off an unbelievable season for him personally, but part-time Dover, the only club that was part-time and fighting up near the top of the table, they don't make the playoffs, unfortunately. They fall just short. They are 3 points behind Aldershot, but Ricky Miller ends the season on 40 goals, one of the best goal-scoring records in the National League for a number of years, and that's something for him to be very, very proud of. Boreham Wood beat Chester 2-0, a game that didn't have much significance. Chester were just about safe before the match day started. Boreham Wood had nothing to play for. Dagenham and Redbridge drew 1-1 with Woking. Another result that doesn't mean much. Dagenham, they head into the playoffs now, but that was already confirmed before the match day took place. Eastleigh drew 1-1 with Wrexham, two clubs that had big ambitions at the start of the season but really fell short in the end. Bromley went away to Gateshead and won 2-0. Gateshead had a late charge towards the playoffs, which ended a few weeks ago, and it's just been compounded now, and the season hasn't ended very well, not how they would have hoped. Macclesfield drew 0-0 with Sutton. Tranmere went to Maidstone and won 1-0. Lincoln drew 1-1 with Southport, so Southport sign off from the National League with a very, very respectable result against the league champions. Leon Gol opened the scoring in the 32nd minute, but Neil Ashton equalised in the 88th minute to give Southport some hope for next season, that they've got a point against the best side in the league. That's a good result for them. So final look at the league table: Lincoln in 1st, Tranmere in 2nd, Forest Green in 3rd, Dagenham in 4th, Aldershot in 5th, then Dover 6th, Barrow 7th, Gateshead 8th, Macclesfield 9th, Bromley in 10th, Boreham Wood in 11th, Sutton United in 12th, Wrexham in 13th, Maidstone in 14th, Eastleigh 15th, 16th is Solihull, 17th is Torquay, 18th is Woking, 19th is Chester, and 20th is Guiseley. Then the teams going down are York City in 21st, Braintree in 22nd, Southport in 23rd, and North Ferriby in 24th place. So the playoffs are going to be Tranmere versus Aldershot and Forest Green versus Dagenham and Redbridge. If I had to make a prediction of that, I think that Tranmere will get through to the final, and I think that they will be facing Dagenham and Redbridge. And then the final, I think Tranmere will win it. So I think that the two teams that are going to be promoted this year are going to be Lincoln City and Tranmere Rovers. But of course, I will be bringing you up to date with all that's happening in the playoffs as it happens during the next couple of weeks. Now moving down to the National League North, and we'll start with the relegation battle. Gainsborough and Worcester were the two teams that were fighting it out. Only one of them could stay up, and Gainsborough, their game started really very well. They went 1-0 up thanks to a goal from Salt in the 9th minute. However, from that point forward, it went very, very wrong. They ended up losing 5-1, 3 goals in the space of 3 minutes right near the end, compounded that loss, but they were hoping for a result at Fylde. Worcester City were away at Fylde, the worst possible game they could have hoped for the final game of the season. Could Worcester City pull out a result? No, they unfortunately couldn't. They did take the lead in the very first minute through Ebby Nelson Addy to give them some hope, but 4 goals from Fylde. They did pull it back to 2-2 just after half-time through a Tyler Weir penalty, but they could not get a result. Just 1 point in that game would have saved them from the drop due to Gainsborough losing, but unfortunately they couldn't do that, and they do unfortunately get relegated. I am really disappointed about that, because it's really only Harriers only really real rivals in this league. So if Harriers do stay in this league next year and fail to get promoted, then we won't really have any rivalries, which is disappointing. But Worcester City, hopefully they can bounce back. They go down alongside Stalybridge and Altrincham. As for the rest of the results, an entertaining game between Alfreton and Nuneaton, two teams that had absolutely nothing to play for, ended in 3-3. A hat-trick for Liam Hearn gave their supporters something to enjoy on the final day of the season. Brackley beat Stalybridge 5-2, so Stalybridge sign off with a heavy defeat. Not how they would want to say goodbye to this league after being at this level for a number of years, but a 5-2 loss is very harsh on them. Halifax with a massive result against Chorley confirmed their 3rd place finish. Chorley finished in 6th thanks to that result. Curzon Ashton beat Boston United 4-2. Again, two teams that have nothing to play for, but an entertaining game to finish the season. My team, Kidderminster Harriers, which I have a matchday vlog of, we won 3-1 against Bradford Park Avenue. Not the best performance that we've ever put in, but certainly not the worst. And we did the job in the end, got that 3-1 victory, which confirmed our 2nd place finish and sets up a tie against Chorley in the playoff semi-finals. Salford, a team that everyone wants to avoid in the playoffs, that's for sure, especially off the back of a 5-1 victory against Darlington, who are in good form heading into this game. That result means that Salford leapfrogged Darlington into 4th place. Stockport couldn't climb into the playoff places. They drew 1-1 with Gloucester. If they had have won this game, they would have finished in the playoffs, so heartbreak for Stockport, but they had in the end finished in 8th place in the league. Tamworth came from behind to beat Altrincham 2-1. Altrincham nearly signed off with a victory, but again they get relegated with a defeat on the final day. Telford versus Harrogate ended as a 0-0. So the league table looks like this as the season concludes. Fylde go up as champions on 88 points, congratulations to them. Kidderminster Harriers in 2nd on 82 points, Halifax in 3rd on 80 points, Salford in 4th on 77 points, Darlington in 5th. They would normally be in the playoffs, but due to their ground grading issues, they have not been allowed access to the playoffs. So they finish in 5th on 76 points, but Chorley, who finished behind them in 6th on 74 points, they move into the playoff spots. Brackley are in 7th, Stockport in 8th, Tamworth 9th, Gloucester in 10th, then Harrogate, Nuneaton, FC United of Manchester, Curzon Ashton, Boston, Bradford Park Avenue, Telford, Alfreton and Gainsborough retain their status in the National League North. Worcester, Stalybridge and Altrincham moved down to the 7th tier. So the playoffs are going to be as follows: Kidderminster Harriers versus Chorley and Halifax versus Salford. Hopefully Kidderminster Harriers will beat Chorley. That's going to be my prediction for that game, and I think that Salford will beat Halifax to get through to the final. Then I think the final, I've got to put money on Harriers. I've got to put my neck out here. I'm going to say that Harriers are going to get the promotion through victory in the playoff final. Now onto the National League South, and the title race was still wide open going into the final day. It was between Maidenhead and Ebbsfleet. Ebbsfleet did their job, they won 1-0, so the pressure was all on Maidenhead. If they did not win, then Ebbsfleet were going to gain that promotion. Maidenhead, however, they did get a 3-0 victory away at Margate. 2 goals from Harry Pritchard and 1 from Dave Tarpey ensured that Maidenhead would secure an unlikely promotion up to the National League. It's not something that many people would have predicted early at the start of the season, but it's an absolutely excellent season from Maidenhead, finishing on 98 points, which is an unbelievable achievement from them. Congratulations to them. I know that the Maidenhead fan, great YouTuber, go and check him out. He is very, very happy with this. They had a pitch invasion on the final game of the season away at Margate. So, great day for Maidenhead, and Ebbsfleet will have to settle for just second place. As for the rest of the results, as the relegation trio were already confirmed prior to the final day, Bath City beat Welling 2-1. East Thurrock drew 1-1 with Wealdstone. That was actually a significant result, because if Wealdstone had won that, they would have finished in 7th place, which would mean that Hampton and Richmond Borough would be in 8th, and no team below 7th is allowed to partake in the playoffs. And due to Wealdstone's ground grading issues alongside Hungerford and Poole, that would mean that Hampton and Richmond Borough would not be able to partake in the playoffs, and Ebbsfleet would automatically be in the final. Complicated situation, but I'll explain it in a minute when we get to the league table. Eastbourne beat St Albans 3-2. Gosport lost 3-2 at home to Whitehawk. Hampton and Richmond Borough won 1-0. That basically climbed them up into 7th place and allowed them to partake in the playoffs despite finishing just in 7th. Weston went away to Hemel Hempstead and won 5-0. Hungerford drew 1-1 with Chelmsford. Dartford beat Poole Town 3-2, and Bishop Stortford beat Truro 4-0. So the league table now looks like this. Maidenhead are top on 98 points, Ebbsfleet in second on 96, Dartford in third on 84, Chelmsford in fourth on 82, then Poole Town in fifth on 71, Hungerford in sixth on 70. Neither of those two teams can partake in the playoffs due to their ground grading issues. Hampton and Richmond Borough, therefore, in 7th place, take up that final playoff spot to face Ebbsfleet in the playoff semi-finals. Dartford will face Chelmsford. My prediction is that Ebbsfleet will make it to the final, and Chelmsford will be their opponents in the final, I think. Then I reckon that Ebbsfleet will bottle it again, and Chelmsford will win, and Chelmsford will go up to the National League. The rest of the league, as the season finishes, Wealdstone are 8th, Bath City 9th, then St Albans, Eastbourne, Hemel Hempstead, East Thurrock, Oxford City, Weston-super-Mare, Welling, Whitehawk, Concord, Truro. They'll retain their National League South status, with Gosport, Bishop Stortford and Margate all getting relegated.
So that's it for the roundup of the final day of the National League North and National League South seasons. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with the playoffs, then make sure that you click that like button and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.